Hey everyone, this package has come all the way from China, and as you can tell it's rather big and heavy, and I feel really sorry for the postie. But anyway, what's inside it is a level of hardware that you don't generally get to see, which is for business and industry. And I thought I'd open it on camera and try it out because it should be very interesting. So let's open it up and take a look. I'm very glad that this isn't the usual way of packing boxes up. Goodness me. Yay! There we go. Let's have a look. Whoa. That's pretty impressive. So this is a 1000-watt LED stadium light. And to put that into perspective, your average LED light is about 7 to 14 watts, you know, one of those bulbs that you might put in an incandescent replacement. And the most powerful LED that I've tried on this channel is 500 watts, so it's going to be pretty bright, which we'll be checking out in just a minute. But as you can see, it's huge, but it is a stadium light, so that's kind of what you expect. And it's made up of lots of individual LEDs with lenses to focus the beam forwards. So it's going to be interesting to see how that performs, and I think it's available in different beam angles as well for a more focused or less focused light. It's got no fans, it's fully passively cooled, which is pretty impressive, so I think we should try it out. First thing to do is to add a plug on the end, as the wires are just loose, and not forgetting the fuse as well. Ready? Oh, goodness me! My eyes! The sun is on! Holy macaroni and cheese. I need my sunglasses for this. And I'll turn down the camera exposure so that you guys can hopefully see what's going on. So that's 1600 is the shutter speed. So hopefully you can actually see a bit more of what's going on in front of this. But as you can see, that's really bright. This is the neutral white version, so it looks very similar to sort of direct sun. And we can't really properly see how bright it is in here, so I think we'll take it outside when it gets dark. But just looking at the window, it's the same exposure as outside. So that's what it looks like outside, and then that's the light of the LED. So it's actually lighting this bit of wall up more than outside, so it's brighter than outdoors, which is pretty incredible. So the whole thing does draw just shy of 1000 watts as advertised, and after about an hour of use, the heat sinks on the back reached 60 Celsius, which is somewhat toasty, but within spec for LEDs. Colour rendering, however, was somewhat poor at 84 CRI, but they are available in higher CRI variants if needed. So for testing, I've got it set up in the back of my car, and I've got an extension lead going to a garage, which I'll be hooking it up to. And just to give you a general idea of how bright it is, we're going to be testing it against my 100-watt LED studio light build. This is bright on its own, but obviously 100 watts is nowhere near 1000 watts, so we'll see how it compares. But before that, we've got to wait till sunset. So this is the 100-watt studio light. As you can see, it's very bright. It's bright enough for the majority of situations. And now I'll switch it over to the 1000-watt panel. Wow. Well, hopefully this speaks for itself. There's a much wider throw, and it's going much further into the distance, and you can see those trees behind these foreground ones, and that's because it's using a combination of lenses. So it's got some that throw far, some that are more wide. So it's got this really even long distance coverage, which works really well actually. The thing that I'm noticing right now, hopefully it comes out on camera, is the colours. It's all looking very nice and neutral. It doesn't look washed out at all. So hopefully that gives you a rough idea of just how bright this thing is. And before I sign off, I think it's worth taking a closer look at how it works. So taking a close look at the lenses, we can see the two different types I mentioned. The one on the left is a 90-degree reflector for the wide throw, and the other is a 10-degree reflector for that long focused throw. Popping off one of the covering strips reveals the LEDs themselves, which are of the Cobb variety and must be just over 10 watts each, and they are set in what appears to be a soft waterproof silicone. Interestingly, the reflectors themselves don't have any mirroring in them at all. They're just solid clear plastic, which is surprising, but they obviously work very well, so I'm not going to argue with that. And it has given me some ideas for some DIY optics, which we'll have to explore in a future video. So a big thanks to the manufacturer McCree for sending this over, and it's been really interesting to look at some industry grade hardware, and I've put a link to it down in the description, but it has got an industry grade price tag of roughly $1,000, so you're probably not going to be buying it to light your garden, but there is a much smaller version which is still very bright at 300 watts, and it's much more easy because it's lighter and easier to manage and mount, and that one could still easily light up a local football field or something, so that's probably worth checking out as well. So other than that, I'm Matt, you've been watching DIY Perks, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye for now. Some people have mega speakers in the back of their cars. I have a mega light. Look at that.